Yes, for Senator Jackson, 894 would strengthen our gun laws by requiring a person to report a theft or loss of a firearm within 5 days that the person knew or should have reasonably known that the firearm had been lost or stolen. Estimated there is a one-time cost to the Department of Justice for about $100,000 for staffing and enhancing automated systems in order to enable compliance. There are local costs for infractions, incarceration for misdemeanors in trial courts, and they're estimated to be minor and may be offset to an extent by fine revenue. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you. Witnesses in support.
Amanda Wilcox on behalf of the 27 California chapters of the Brady Campaign to Prevent Gun Violence, as well as the Law Center to Prevent Gun Violence. This bill will help identify and hold accountable straw purchasers who supply illegal guns. And as has been stated before, gun violence imposes a big cost in our state, and to the extent we can curb the flow of illegal guns, not only will lives be saved, but also the cost will be reduced. Urge your aye vote.
Thank you. Additional witnesses in support.
Pedro Morillas with Everytown for Gun Safety, also in support.
Lydia Bourne, American Academy of Pediatrics, in support.
Lisa Arnold Fernandez with Moms Demand Action, in support.
Patricia McCarty with Moms Demand Action, in support.
Jody Hicks with the California Academy of Family Physicians, in support.
Thank you. Additional witnesses in support. Seeing none witnesses in opposition, please come forward.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Craig DeLuz with the Firearms Policy Coalition. In going through the analysis, it seems like the authors, they're trying to have this both ways. Either this is going to significantly reduce the number of straw purchasers, meaning there are a lot of straw purchasers, therefore, as a result, there's going to be a lot of prosecutions under this. Then one has to wonder, how can the cost be so minimal as for it not to be a potential suspense item? But then, or on the other hand, then the number of incidences in which this is going to occur are so minimal, then one has to wonder, why do we need to then potentially criminalize, an individual and criminalize basically being a victim of theft? It can't be both. It can be one, it can be the other, but it can't be both. So we oppose this measure.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, for the record, Dan Reed with National Rifle Association. We're in opposition to this bill. Again, you're making criminals out of victims. Also, this legislation or similar legislation was vetoed twice prior. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kathy Lynch, representing the Spark Club International and Outdoor Sportsmen's Coalition of California, in opposition. Sportsmen are the ones that are most likely to be impacted by this. A lot of times they have firearms in remote locations, like at a cabin or something. The reasonably should have known standard is not, it's vague, it's not clear, and there are penalties here. I think you're going to have a decrease in the amount of reporting because the time period has lapsed, and so I think that you're really creating a big increase in the judiciary system again with this bill. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman and members, Sam Paredes representing Gun Owners California. There's another fiscal aspect that I don't think was been considered. At this time of year right now, most law enforcement agencies, especially sheriff's offices, are at that point in their fiscal year to where they are running towards the end, and they're trying to figure out how to make it to the beginning of the next fiscal year. This kind of, the reporting and the record keeping and the prosecution of this kind of a crime where you're making somebody who is a victim a criminal is going to, by necessity and definition, distract from more important law enforcement priorities in order to deal with this, because they are required to do so by statute. So the impact that it's going to have on the financial situation of the sheriffs throughout the state of California and will be significant, and Lord knows we can't afford to do that right now with our law enforcement officers. Thank you very much. We are in strong opposition.
Thank you. Additional witnesses in opposition.
Roy Griffith on behalf of the California Rifle and Pistol Association, oppose.
Thank you. Finance, not here. Comments or questions from committee? Senator Nielsen.
Mr. Chairman, I would move this item to suspense, at the very least, in that this now does criminalize an individual. And for a repeat offender who did not, within 5 days, that does require then, it would be local law enforcement would have to investigate. And for a repeat offender, there would have to be a referral for prosecution. And were there a prosecution, there would be incarceration. I expect local incarceration, but that indeed would be a cost. So there are costs involved here, and I would move it to suspense.
Thank you. Just to clarify, this would make it a misdemeanor, which doesn't make it a mandate, just to be clear. So it does not meet a candidate for suspense. And that's the analysis from our staff. So Senator Walk, would you like to close?
That these local costs are estimated to be minor. I ask for your support for this bill.
Thank you. Senator Nielsen has introduced a motion to move it to the suspense file. The chairman recommends a no vote. Secretary, please call the roll.
Laura?
No.
Laura, no. Bates? Bates, aye. Bell? Bell, no. Hill? Hill, no. McGuire? McGuire, no. Mendoza? Nielsen? Nielsen, aye.
Thank you. That motion fails. At this time, I'll entertain a motion for a due pass to the Senate floor. Motion by Senator Bell. Secretary, please call the roll.
Laura?
Aye.
Laura, aye. Bates? No. Bates, no. Bell? Bell, aye. Hill? Hill, aye. McGuire? McGuire, aye. Mendoza? Nielsen? Nielsen, no.
Thank you. Senator Walk, we'll keep that item open to allow our absent member to add on.
Mr. Chair, can I ask you about the other bills that are on appropriations that are where I waive presentation, and are they in some list, or do we have to speak to them at all? I hope not.
Yeah, you have waived presentation on your both
On
items.
both.
Yes. Yeah, you're fine. Thank you. Member Santiago, please come forward. AB 1511. Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. First, I want to accept the committee's amendments, and thank you, Mr. Chair and the committee staff, for working with our staff to make this a better bill. AB 1511 narrows firearm loan provisions to allow a loan only between immediate family members. There are minor potential cost and very minor moderate increases to state and local costs associated with the narrowing of the provision. I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you. Witnesses in support.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. Pedro Rodriguez from Everytown for Gun Safety. Proud to be here in support of this important bill. It does address an unusual loophole in California's background check law that allows a loan of a gun for up to 30 days without a background check and no questions asked. We do know that there's a cost to gun violence, and there are real-life examples of gun loans ending up in the hands of folks who intend to do wrong with them. And the committee analysis rightly points out that if there are any costs associated with this bill, they will be minor, and the DOJ has indicated that there won't be any impact on them as well. So with that, urge you for your yes vote. Thank you.
Thank you.
Amanda Wilcox on behalf of the California chapters of the Brady Campaign to Prevent Gun Violence and the Law Center to Prevent Gun Violence, in support.
Thank you. Additional witnesses in support. Witnesses in opposition. You're in support?
In support, Lisa Arnold Fernandez with Moms Demand Action, and then I'm here in honor and memory of my brother, Derek Ian Arnold, who was shot with a gun.
Thank you.
Patricia McCarty with Moms Demand Action from Sacramento, in strong support.
Jody Hicks with the California Academy of Family Physicians in support.
Thank you. Witnesses in opposition, please come forward.
Mr. Chairman and members, Sam Paredes representing gun owners of California. The committee analysis with regards to the fiscal impact and even DOJ's assertion that it would have a minor impact and could be absorbed into their operation is, again, very, very woefully uneducated. The number of firearms that are presently loaned by people lawfully is immense. People loan guns to friends. I have a friend who's going through a police academy. He needed to have a particular type of a gun in order to complete his service in the police academy. Loaned him a gun. Under this bill, I would have to transfer this gun to him. After the police academy is completed, he's going to a law enforcement agency where that gun is no longer used, so he's going to have to transfer it back to me. We know that the dealer record of sales and transfer database here in the state of California is again, to quote myself, jacked up. It is a regular basis where this system breaks down and is a cost to the gun owners, is a cost to the state of California, and when you're going to put an immense amount of additional pressure to the systems that manage these databases for a problem that really doesn't exist, the costs to the state are just unconscionable. You have way too many more priorities to dedicate the resources that come out of our pockets and out of our paychecks in order for you to spend on various programs. So we are in strong opposition to this bill. Thank you.
Thank you. Additional witnesses in support. Opposition.
Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, for the record, Dan Reed, here on behalf of the National Rifle Association. We're in strong opposition. This is not a loophole. This is expressly provided for in law. There's already laws on the books that if you're a prohibited possessor in possession, it's already a felony. So now we're creating criminals out of law-abiding. This is a poor use of funds, and we're creating a new crime. And with that, we're in opposition. Thank you.
Kathy Lynch, representing the California Sportsman's Lobby and Safari Club International Outdoor Sportsmen's Coalition. We're in strong opposition to this bill. It feels like this is an assault today on lawfully owning firearms, but mainly sportsmen in the state of California. This bill is directly aimed at hunters and sportsmen and will make criminals out of them. You have language in here that says who has a valid hunting license issued by and only possesses a firearm while hunting. What does that mean? Could someone address that? It's important from a fiscal aspect because, again, the devil's in the detail on the crime aspects. What does that really mean? When you go hunting and you loan a firearm, you go with a buddy. Is it while you're in transit? Is it when you return it to the home? I mean, what crime problem are we solving here? There's already laws on the books that deal with straw purchases, and this doesn't get at it, but this does get at impacting sportsmen in the state of California. We urge a no vote on this.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Craig DeLuz with the Firearms Policy Coalition. First of all, in general, I believe that one of the things that we're doing with this measure, as with many of these measures, is taking law-abiding citizens and creating criminals out of them. In many cases where you have an individual who has a protective order, they may want to arm themselves in order to protect themselves if they're serious concern for their safety. These individuals, unless they have an immediate family member who owns a firearm, they're going to basically, they're not going to be able to obtain a firearm for a minimum of 11 days if they can put the money together in order to be able to purchase it, go through the waiting period, which will take them up to as much as 30 days. You are putting those individuals in a position where they are going to basically have to become criminals. It's either potentially become criminals, or put their lives and their safety at risk. We believe that's a dangerous concern. We're also concerned about the amendments that require that the firearm, if it is being loaned, must be registered to the person that's doing the loaning. If the firearm is purchased prior to registration actually being required by law, for example, if I purchased a firearm and I wanted to then loan it to my wife, even though it is community property under this bill, I would not be able to do that, even though by community property laws, it's half hers anyway. We believe that that particular amendment is problematic, and is for that and for the previous reasons stated, we oppose this measure.
Thank you. Additional witnesses in opposition.
Roy Griffith on behalf of the California Rifle and Pistol Association, for all the reasons stated, and this bill stands in direct conflict with safe gun handling and education. Nobody expected someone to pick up a firearm and go right out in the field with it. This increased dangers can increase costs over the top, but we expect someone to loan someone a firearm, get familiar with it, then go hunting with it, not pick up the firearm and go hunting. So it's completely in blocking that safe practice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, members, Corey Salzillo on behalf of the California State Sheriff's Association in opposition.
Thank you. Additional witnesses in opposition. Finance, not here. Comments or questions from committee? Before we take comments, I just want to clarify that the amendments that are being taken today narrow the bill and remove the hunting aspect or issues that were brought up with the opposition testimony. Comments or questions? Senator McGuire.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. I do appreciate that. That was going to be the item of taking those amendments in regards to hunting. I don't know, Mr. Santiago, if you want to talk about that. And I think also specifically looking at the category of individuals in narrowing that down as well, because I know that was another issue that you've been focused on, if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, before, there's another question by Senator Bates.
Not a question, just request to move it to suspense.
There's a motion to move this bill to suspense. Senator Santiago, would you like to close?
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I apologize. Give me a second. Senator Nielsen.
Well, the amendment that I've said is firearm being loaned as a handgun registered the person making the loan pursuant to section 11106. That says handgun, and this does mean spouse. Now, could some proponent tell me why anyone would want to make it illegal to loan a handgun to a spouse, a family member? Why? That's...
Yes.
Maybe we can have Senator Santiago answer that question in his close.
Sure. Well, first I want to thank the chair and Senator McGuire in terms of pointing out that it does eliminate the hunting provision portion of it. That's no longer an issue. And any current laws as it relates to currently lending a gun would still abide, with the exception that it would have to be an immediate family member, number one, and then number two, it would not exceed 30 days. So I'm not quite sure how the opposition frames that, but would love to clear it up with them.
Well, the best way to clear it up is to put it on suspense and let it get cleared up.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator Nielsen. There is a motion by Senator Bates to move this bill to suspense. The chairman recommends a no vote. Secretary, please call the roll.
Laura?
No.
Laura, no. Bates? Bates, aye. Bell? Bell, no. Hill? No. Hill, no. McGuire? McGuire, no. Mendoza? Nielsen? Nielsen, aye.
Motion fails. At this time, I would like to entertain a motion for due pass as amended to the Senate floor. So moved by Senator Hill. Secretary, please call the roll.
Laura?
Aye.
Laura, aye. Bates? No. Bates, no. Bell? Bell, aye. Hill? Hill, aye. McGuire? McGuire, aye. Mendoza? Nielsen? Nielsen, no.
Thank you, Senator Santiago. We're going to keep the roll open to allow Approps member to add on. Thank you. Members, at this time, this closes our special order of business. We're going to move to regular order. Give us a minute to organize ourselves. So, file order, we have Senator Jackson. You're presenting on SB 868. It's a candidate for suspense. Please proceed. I am going to pass the gavel to my vice chair. So I got a couple events to attend for a minute. Senator Jackson, the floor is yours.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, Madam Vice Chair, and members. This is Senate Bill 868, a bill that establishes a basic set of sensible and intelligent drone regulations that strike a balance between protecting safety, our public safety, our right to privacy, and our wildlife, while encouraging exciting innovation and technology. The development of small unmanned aircraft systems, or drones, offers great economic opportunity in a number of sectors across our state, but the lack of clear rules governing their use threatens to undermine public safety and harm California's natural resources. To date, the lack of regulation on drone use has led to disputes between neighbors concerned about invasions of their privacy, impacts to wildlife, near collisions and collisions with airplanes and helicopters, interference with firefighting efforts, and accidents injuring innocent bystanders, among many others. Irresponsible or even dangerous operators and their drones should not be able to threaten our safety, our private property, the critical infrastructure we need to keep our state running, or our beloved state parks and wildlife refuges. We cannot wait for a disaster to strike before setting clear, common-sense rules that provide certainty for everyone while keeping the public safe. This measure, the State Remote Piloted Aircraft Act, implements these common sense rules, ensuring that drone use does not harm our wildlife, does not threaten our critical infrastructure, undermine our privacy interests, which are fundamental rights here in California, or become a platform for the deployment of weapons, none of which are pie in the sky. In fact, these are instances where drones have been used up till this point. This measure continues to allow local governments to regulate drone use in their communities and provides exceptions for skilled operators who have received authorization from the Federal Aviation Administration to fly in otherwise restricted areas. And the bill directs the Division of Aeronautics and other state agencies to work cooperatively with local governments and the federal government to enforce this regulatory framework. As the committee analysis notes, this bill would involve some relatively minor costs for developing, implementing rules and regulations, and some ongoing costs to oversee state coordination with federal authorities and other entities when they create and develop their own rules, which we know now are not likely to come until 2019 at the earliest. Should this bill be placed on the suspense file, I plan to offer amendments that would consolidate rulemaking functions through Caltrans to make the bill more efficient and cost-effective. We recognize this is a valuable technology, but we cannot let it run away from us. This is not the Wild West, and yet when it comes to the use of drones and other technologies of this level, we have no rules and regulations. We must create them to protect the public, to anticipate and to preserve our resources, and to make sure that we are addressing the needs of Californians as well as the needs of technology moving forward. And with that, I have Tim Cromartie with the League of California Cities and other supporters here today to testify in support of this bill and help answer any technical questions you may have. I would thank you for your consideration and respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Witnesses in support.
Chair and members. Madam Chair and members, Tim Cromartie on behalf of the League of California Cities. We're pleased to support this measure. It is a sound, common sense approach that seeks to establish a regulatory framework resting on a foundation of existing enforcement resources by designating state agencies that currently have a mandate to perform law enforcement functions. Faced with weak federal regulations from the FAA, which are now the subject of litigation by the Model Aircraft Association and others, Senator Jackson has undertaken with this measure a badly needed comprehensive approach to regulation. It acknowledges the need for regulation at each level of government, federal, state, and local. And respecting the need for local regulation, this bill underscores the unfortunate fact that currently in California, the most comprehensive regulations of unmanned aircraft systems are at the municipal level. And the industry has consistently argued that local and even state regulation in this area is preempted by federal law, but even the FAA has formally not acknowledged a role for local government in a December 15 memo from the Office of their General Counsel. Thank you.
Other witnesses in support? Witnesses in opposition?
Ivan Altamura on behalf of the Association for Unmanned Vehicles in opposition. Thank you.
Melanie Cuevas on behalf of DJI, the largest manufacturer of commercial and consumer drones, also in opposition.
Anthony Molina, California Manufacturers and Technology Association, in opposition.
Any other witnesses? Either side? Department of Finance?
Jacqueline Wong Hernandez with the Department of Finance. I don't have a file on this measure.
No file. Questions, comments from members? This is a candidate for suspense, so if you'd like to close, Senator Jackson.
I would. Thank you very much. I would, again, the costs are about estimated between $150,000 and $200,000. We're working very hard to make this set of regulations come within the purview of the Division of Highways. This is, they already do regulations dealing with the kinds of technologies that are consistent with drone use. It is, I think, critically important that we recognize we have to act sooner rather than later. Otherwise, there will be literally anticipated millions of drones that will be out there without any regulation, without any idea, the users themselves having no idea what the requirements, the expectations, the reasonable use of these drones will be. And I'd just like to conclude, if I might, by I just flew in from Chicago, where I attended the graduation of a family member from law school. And the speaker was a fellow who was a visionary, started an organization called the 1871 Project. And he observed that this moment in time represents the slowest point in ongoing history for the use of technology. Things are going to be moving so rapidly as we head into the future. It's critically important that we try to address these issues now when we have the opportunity to do so. And with that, I would ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Jackson. It is a candidate for suspense, so will be moved to suspense. But you do, moving to the end of our agenda,
yes.
You have SB 1166, and want to call forward those who were not afforded that opportunity at our last hearing, and that's those who oppose the bill.
Correct, and my understanding is that I'll do a brief presentation. Support and opposition will now be heard.
Right.
Very good. Thank you.
Brief presentation. I'm teasing you.
Yes, I will. I will do my best.
We have to have some levity here, you know.
So this is SB 1166. It's the new parent leave bill. California falls behind now. The District of Columbia, Maine, Massachusetts, Minnesota, Oregon, Washington, and now New York in providing job-protected parental leave for small business employees. Under current California law, only those who work for employers of 50 or more are eligible for job-protected parental leave in California. That leaves more than 40% of California workers without any job-protected family leave, and many new parents struggling with an impossible choice between the well-being of their new child and their family's financial security. Narrowly focused on new parents, SB 1166 would extend job-protected parental leave of up to 12 weeks to employers of 10 or more. Lowering the employer size threshold to 10 extends job-protected leave to an additional 26.3% of the workforce and an additional 12.5% of employers. While the Department of Fair Employment and Housing projects a relatively minimal cost for enforcing these new job protections, the cost of not allowing parents to care for newborns in these first few critical weeks of their lives is a much higher expense, both for families and society at large. And I will, at that, just reference the research that's been done showing how critically important this is and ask for your aye vote.
Senator Jackson, we did have the supporters testify at the last hearing. This particular hearing is for those who are opposed to the bill. So if you have one witness that'd like to speak to the support,
please,
let's do that, and then we'll move to the opposition.
Very well. Thank you.
Hi, thank you. I'm Jenya Cassidy. I'm with the California Work and Family Coalition. We're a statewide coalition of parents and caregivers and workers and small businesses, and we're in strong support of this bill. This bill should have a very low fiscal impact. There would basically be enforcement, but there's a very high cost to not having job protection for parents who are going out on bonding leave. Parents losing their job at that time is a whole family losing their job and their way of support. This can actually put an added burden on the state when these parents and families are losing their livelihood. Also, the state recently put a modest amount of money toward ramping up education and awareness on paid family leave. And this bill helps people who can take paid family leave without losing their job. That's one of the barriers people have to taking paid family leave. It's something that the state has really committed to helping with, and this is a barrier that makes parents not able to take it. So we're in strong support. Thank you.
Thank you.
Senator, if we might just have, there's apparently a group who's here to express their support, just if they give their name and affiliation, if that would be acceptable. Thank you.
We intend to do that. Come forward and state your name, your organization you represent, and that you support the bill.
Thank you. Michael Young, on behalf of the California Labor Federation. We're also here in support.
Mariko Yoshihara with the California Employment Lawyers Association in support.
Mike Carroll with the Western Center on Law and Poverty in support.
Gina De Silva with California Immigrant Policy Center in support.
Jeanette Sadiq-Medina on behalf of MALDEF, the Mexican American Legal Defense and Educational Fund, also in strong support.
Renee Bayardo, SEIU, California, also in support.
Maya Ingram, ACLU of California, in support.
Those in opposition, come forward. Thank you.
Nicole Rice, California Manufacturers and Technology Association. I want to say to the Vice Chair and the Chair in his absence that we appreciate the opportunity to be able to register our opposition to the bill. However, the committee, in the interest of time and the previous session of special bills, will just, and given the fact that our opposition is based on policy reasons, we will just register our opposition. And once again, thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Madam Chair and members of the committee, my name is Javier Gonzalez here on behalf of the California Restaurant Association, also opposed to the bill for policy reasons. Thank you.
Betsy Hammer with the California State Association of Counties here in opposition.
Thank you. Senator Jackson, I believe that's all that have come forward as opposition. You know the bill is on suspense, so.
I just simply close by saying it's one of the top 4 priority bills for the Women's Caucus and will help ensure that fewer employees have to choose between the well-being of their newborns and their family's financial security. And with that, I appreciate that the bill is going to suspense, but I think the concerns as expressed are really more policy than fiscal. And with that, I hope the bill does come off suspense. Thank you very much. I appreciate the time to present.
Thank you. Now we'll open the roll on the other bills now that we have some of our absent members here.
Wait. Oh, you want to wait? Okay.
Senator Pavley.